Engines up and ready. 3, 2, 1, 0. Booster ignition and liftoff of Discovery, blazing a trail to scientific discoveries aboard the space station.
There she comes.
Right to roll, Discovery.
Discovery is rolling into a head-down position, putting it on course for 1.6 degrees, 136 by 36 statute-line orbit, and eventually the International Space Station. Or 26,500 feet, traveling.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Roger, go at throttle up.
Traveling 1,000 miles per hour. Discovery's engines are now throttled back up and performing at full capability. At the stop, the shuttle weighed more than 4.5 million pounds, and now 1 minute and 27 seconds into the flight, the main engines and solid rocket boosters have reduced that weight by about half. Solid rocket boosters alone are burning 11,000 pounds of propellant per second, and the external tank is now 3,000 pounds lighter than when it began. Discovery is now 21 miles away from its launch pad and 22 miles in altitude, traveling 2,700 miles per hour. All 3 main engines are working just as expected. The 3 fuel cells are generating power, and the 3 auxiliary power units are all producing pressure. In short, everything performing well.
There's SEP.
2 minutes and 7 seconds into the STS-131 mission.
You ready for solid rocket boosters then?
103 converged.
The booster officer in the Mission Control Center has confirmed solid rocket booster separation. All systems continuing to function well.
So what you see now are the 3 main engines still burning. You can see it's heading out on that same trajectory, chasing down the space station.
Maneuvering system engines on Discovery's tail are now firing as well, providing the shuttle an extra boost into orbit. The engine burn will last 1 minute and 44 seconds.
Discovery, 2-engine TAL.
Discovery copies, 2-engine TAL.
That call indicates that Discovery can now reach Morón in Spain should one of the 3 main engines fail. However, all 3 of those main engines are currently working well. 2 minutes and 59 seconds into the flight, and Discovery is now 79 miles away from Kennedy Space Center in Florida, 48 miles in altitude, and traveling at 4,500 miles per hour.
You can see some of the wind effects on the shuttle as it climbs out, some of the shear layers up there, how the wind is tearing that column apart. So there's a lot of wind activity going on above the space shuttle launch pad here.
And they should be getting their sunrise about now,
seeing the first of many sunrises of the STS-131 mission.
I think what we'll see here is as the sun rises, you're going to see it really react with this smoke column you see here and really give you some fantastic looks at coloration.
Discovery Houston, you are negative return.
That means we can't.
Copies, negative return.
You can't come back to Kennedy now.
Discovery is now flying too high and too fast to return to the Kennedy Space Center in the event of an engine failure. That's not currently a problem, however, as all engines are continuing to perform as expected. 4 minutes and 15 seconds into Discovery's flight. Shuttle is traveling 6,000 miles per hour at an altitude of 63 miles and is 181 miles away from
Yeah, you can
Kennedy
see
Space Center.
the sun effects on the atoms excited as the shuttle's going through the orbit, through its trajectory right now. See how the sun's glaring on it?
And that plume is fanned out because of the thinner air now.
Right.
Environmental Systems Officer here in Mission Control confirmed that the flash evaporator system has been activated to provide cooling to the shuttle system until the shuttle's cargo bay doors open and double as radiators.
Yeah, this is about as good as it gets, folks, because we were almost going to see this thing to main engine cutoff, which is a little over 8 minutes into the flight. Very rarely do you see it that far down range, so this is a perfect situation.
Discovery, press to ATO.
Discovery copies. Press to ATO.
Should two of the shuttle's 3 main engines fail after this point, it can still reach a safe, though lower than planned orbit, as that call from Capcom Rick Sturko indicated. Discovery is now 5 minutes and 42
Discovery,
seconds into the flight.
Ops 3.
Discovery, single engine Ops 3.
67 miles in altitude and 351 miles away from Kennedy Space Center. Discovery could still make it across the Atlantic for an abort landing, even if two of the three main engines failed at this point. All engines are performing well.
Discovery, single engine Zaragoza.
Discovery copies. Single engine Zaragoza.
Just hitting every one of their calls right on the money.
Discovery
Folks,
now
that light is
more than
400 miles away from you right now.
66 miles in altitude and 430 miles away from Kennedy Space Center.
Discovery, press to MECO.
Discovery copies. Press to MECO.
And that call indicates that Discovery can reach its planned orbit of 136 by 36 statute miles, even if one of the engines fails. All 3 engines are still working well, as are the auxiliary power units and the 3 fuel cells.
And she's heading over the hill.
I think if we were out there on the ocean somewhere, we could see it all the way to main engine cutoff. So,
Wow.
hope you enjoyed that, folks.
We
Thank you very much.
Single engine press. Your shutdown plan is nominal. Go for the plus X, go for the pitch maneuver.
Take a look at some of the sun interaction with the plume up there right now.
Go for the plus X. Go for the pitch.
It's going to get better and brighter as you watch the plume and the sun striking different gases and things
make its
inside.
planned orbit with just 1. That shouldn't be necessary, however, as all 3 engines are still performing at full capability.
We want to congratulate